How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my second episode in my replay analysis series where I analyze my replays so that I can improve and become an Eternus player. Today's game was a great one. It's an example of what you can do when Warden unlocks his full potential. I got a lane with Kelvin, which is great for Warden, but I was up against Paige and Wraith, which is it's a dangerous matchup, but it wasn't a problem for me in the end, which you guys are all about to bear witness to. I'm thinking about kind of putting this to 1.5 times. Might be a little sillier to watch it this way, but I think I should be able to keep up. So here we are going into the lane. I decided to just kind of play passive a little bit, which I think was the right move in this sort of lane where it's very easy for them to get a positive trade on us with Paige's shield, and there it is. So I focus on the creep wave instead. Just meleeing those things. Yeah, I completely whip a melee. Wraith is a little open here, so I go for some cheeky melees, and then as always, they go in for a parry, which I never melee. What I like to do in these little kinds of squabbles, now obviously I didn't come out of that trade great, but Paige also did almost die, so right now we're just relatively even. But I did start playing a little safer, but once I got the heal creep going, I had another chance to go for something huge here, and maybe tick Paige down some more. But then unfortunately Wraith lands a card and starts shooting me down, so I have to back up and play undercover again. We're still living though. We are still sustaining ourselves, and we're not nervous in the slightest because now we have headshot booster. And this item, it makes a pretty big difference, especially when you're just trying to secure that last hit to kill him. Kelvin unfortunately dies. He's out of position. He's a little salty about it. It's okay. We're still going to win this lane. Doesn't really matter if we die very early. He was pushed up against the creeps, and he had none of his minions with him. And I was going to shop like I communicated, so I'm not going to blame myself for that. Mirage and Bebop are having a good lane. I think Mina and Seven end up doing well. But now, Wraith and Paige are diving. They're low on HP. I have headshot booster. It's my time to shine. This is where Warden really shines in lane, when they're low on HP and you can harass them from afar, dealing lots of damage, as if you're right up close and personal with them. So then I just deal with this creep wave here. And then there's this well-timed pause. So here what's going through my head is, clearly Paige is about to die. She just used Divine Barrier on Wraith. So if I dive this Paige, she's 100% going to die for it. The problem is that I just don't have my wave, and that tower will start shooting me down. So it's a risky play, but it's a rewarding one if I can get out of it alive. And what ends up happening, I decide, alright, I'm going to go for some damage on the Paige here, but it's okay if I can't kill her, which I'm not able to do, unfortunately. I think she manages to squeeze a little barrier out in the last second, but she leaves herself exposed, and I land a quick little headshot on her, finishing her off and allowing me to make my clean escape. Right now I'm still super low in HP, but I'm kind of looking for that heal creep sustain. Should be able to bring me back. I think I do end up missing the med pack though, so I decide, fuck it, let's just cut our losses and maybe buy another item. At this point, I definitely know I need HP, so I think I got Battle Vest, which was a good choice for this game against Hayes, Abrams, and Paige, and Wraith. So now that I'm not taking as much gun damage, I'm not nearly as afraid of taking trades with these people. Wraith comes in to try and kill me here, and they manage to get Kelvin, but I do escape. It's just not a great fight for me, though, leaving me at 40 HP. She goes for a captivating read, but I managed to dodge it and just go back to base, say fuck it. It's not like they can take the tower this early. And their creep wave wasn't fully pushed up, so Kelvin's there to save the day. I grab monster rounds because it's a broken item, and now my regen is 6 HP per second, which is a pretty big deal. Just in the time it took me to get from the base on the zipline to the lane again, I recovered like 50 HP, which is pretty fantastic. So I go back to the creep wave, try to get some more sustain going. Paige goes for a little trade. It doesn't work out for her because I have willpower. I say going to shop even though I'm not going to, because I'm looking at the timer and I see that bridge buffs are spawning soon. But then this happens and I realize, you know what, I gotta make a play, it's time. But Wraith had her ult too. We ended up kind of just trading ults, and they're low on HP, so it's good for us. Viscous grabs the bridge buff and takes off my healing right, so I'm kind of mad at Viscous, but I'm not too pressed about it. I do see a med pack, so I grab a little bit of sustain from that. And now, once again, we're in a position where we can kind of just harass them and shoot them down, land those headshots while they're forced to play under tower, as we progressively damage them more and more. She's gonna waste her shield again soon, I think. This Paige. Yeah, there, the shield was wasted, and then it wore off, and then we get to go in and damage her down. Wraith's healing right, dead instantly. Kelvin gets ulted, not that big of a deal because he has his ult too. I missed 2 heavy melees against Paige that definitely would have hit, but then she whiffs a parry, giving me time to get some light melees out and finish her off once and for all. I cast Binding Ward on Wraith, who just so happened to have no stamina, leading her to be dead, in fact, as well. And at that point, that's pretty much the lane. There's not really a chance that we're going to lose anymore because we've built a pretty strong lead, and it's all thanks to me, so I hit him with a "You're welcome." Kelvin isn't grateful because he's probably still mad about dying at the beginning. It's alright though, I get that way sometimes too. Wraith is hopping around with the shields. We're just trying to keep the pressure up, but we can't really push the tower anymore, so I decide, you know what, I got 2.3k and we're 7 minutes into the game. It's almost time to buy Cult to Sacrifice, which I'm 10 souls away from being able to afford. I don't remember if I buy Cult to Sacrifice first or if I go for a different item. I think, yeah, I decide I'm just gonna save and keep farming. Wraith tries to jump in with a bunch of barriers up. We managed to shred the barriers down, and I'm left with enough HP to continue trading, but I figured we gotta deal with this creep wave before we keep going in here. Then it's Cult to Sacrifice time. The big creeps are gonna spawn in 20 seconds, which I'm paying attention to. We just continue dealing with creep wave before taking any dangerous or risky trades, like we should. Kelvin's kind of half HP because he's sort of playing from the front here, but it's okay because he has his snowballs. I try to dive Paige. It works out. She's almost dead. She's not going to be able to heal up that HP very quickly, and now it gives me a perfect chance to just grab a tier 3 creep safely while my wave is pushed up. Then I wait for Kelvin to do his thing. I try to make a dive on the tower while our wave is once again pushed up onto the tower, and I'm not really able to finish their Guardian off, but Wraith is pretty deep, so I decide killing her a little bit. And then Mirage, being the goat that he is, teleports. This is the second episode in a row that a Mirage teleports to our lane and just makes the game easy mode for us. But Viscus actually pulls up to kind of evening it out, only to run away instantly because he saw that I channeled my ult. So I decide I'm just going to start farming. He tries to contest the Sinners here, but I make my grand escape. This Viscus, though, you'll find in this footage, he's actually kind of the goat. Not only is he good at, like, harassing and being annoying, but he's also really good at escaping, too, because once he ends up inside of Kelvin's Ice Dome and he's in a dangerous position... Well, actually, he doesn't dive us yet, but there's another clip later on where the Viscus kind of just, like, styles on me, and y'all will see. So I start building around movement speed as opposed to damage early on, like how I did last game. And so I start shooting that Viscus down. I figure, yeah, he's dead. I hit him with a "You're welcome" because I was certain, but he actually manages to escape. I didn't see how he did it, but I'm gonna guess he used, like, a goo punch or something to launch himself away, because this Viscus player is great at doing that. I see an opportunity to dive Paige. My flask hits a trooper, so I kind of just give up on that. And then I say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna chase this Viscus again, who just loves running away, and, you know, he's almost dead for it. I see a goo cube, so I just run for him. He instantly cancels it because he knows I'm going for a Binding Word, but then he makes the mistake of climbing up the rope, and I kill him for that. I start going for the Sinners, and then Wraith pulls up, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do that. I don't have enough souls for Fleetfoot, but that's definitely what's on my mind at this point, because so far the movement speed buffs are working out for me. Usually I'm just too slow to escape or too slow to dive, and it bothers me as Warden, so I think building movement speed early really fits to my playstyle, so I'm probably going to start doing that more often. Even though I don't get as much damage output out of it, I think it's still worth it just to be for the sake of being in the right position more often. At this point, I'm kind of like wandering around the map and taking back camps. Probably not the best idea. I honestly should have stuck around on green, because there's like this perma team fight on green, as Mirage exclaimed, like there's fucking 4 people there. So I decide, alright, I'm gonna ult and do my Sonic Speed. Wraith is 1 HP from dying. If I literally bought another spirit item, she would have died. So I'm a little upset about it, but I'm not too mad, because Viscus is still super deep and just asking to die. He almost makes his escape, but he was just too low in HP. So now Hayes tries to harass us here. I just harass her back, and she starts running away. I'm about 25 seconds from Cultist sack, so I decide let's just keep the lane shoved, let's take their camps. I have enough souls for Fleetfoot, which I really want to get, but I decide that I'm just gonna keep applying more pressure, and I don't remember if I do the crazy shit. Yeah, I make a ludicrous play here where I really try to kill the Wraith, and then I realize that it's a terrible idea, so I just escape, and I do manage to get away with it, which is absolutely hilarious, because I don't know what the fuck I was doing behind their walker. Slime gets ice domed again. He really loves doing this. I don't have Binding Word to punish his cube, but he tries running away, and his homies come to protect him from running. I get really greedy and go for a cultist sack, which I get cruelly punished for, and yes, I do in fact die. 2 ults on me. Wasn't going to escape that one, but it was a good play on their end, because I was going ahead of my creep wave and in front of my teammates to get the cultist sack. It was just a greedy move that I got rightfully punished for. And in the time that it takes for me to respawn, they hold it down really well on green. At this point, we still haven't lost that tower, so it's a fantastic game, and I'm able to just keep on snowballing off of the lead that I got. Now, I'm still a little bit behind in farm, but I'm getting lots of kills, and I'm taking advantage of how strong I am. I'm so fast at this point, with just 2 movement speed items, Fleet Foot, Enduring Speed, and the level 1 on the Willpower, that this Abrams just can't escape from me. The Binding Word is casted, and that's Raps, because he just doesn't have the stamina to escape its range, even though I haven't gotten any range upgrades on it, aside from Cold to Sacrifice. Mina and I start taking camps. Wraith tries to shut us down. Mina and I put her in her place. She runs, and then we continue what we were doing before. Just keep on taking camps, getting nice and fed. At this point, I'm at 14k, which is great. Somehow the Bebop is ahead. He must have taken a solo lane for some time. I continue to just grab boxes and take camps and stuff. At this point, I'm not entirely sure what I'm saving up for, but when I died after grabbing the tier 3 creep and getting punished for it, I got hollow point, so now that I have Enduring Speed and Fleet Foot, I decide, yeah, let's just start building around some damage instead of just movement speed. There's a bridge buff here that I really want. I managed to get it. I parry the haze too in the lick of a second. Bebop almost saves me, but I get fucking shoulder charged and Doorman ulted. At this point, there's no chance. I casted my ult out of habit. It was just that was a blunder. It's something I'm never gonna do again. So I get bullet resist Shredder, and now I have minus like 26% bullet resist just from shooting them, basically. I do have to land a flask, but minus 26 bullet resist reduction basically all the time, as well as against like creeps and stuff and camps and walkers. So right now I'm thinking I want to fight people, but I also want to push walkers and take down those objectives because I have the power to do that. I see Doorman out of position. I'll admit I didn't do a very good job of chasing him. I wasted Binding Word. I missed a lot of my shots. I was a little nervous and I wasn't focused, just got a little bit too excited about the prospect of jumping a Doorman behind our walker. I keep on chasing him because I saw that our Bebop was pushed up, but Bebop got punished, so I decided I'm just going to cut my losses and farm. I notice Abrams is really close to me on the map, and he does almost punish me for getting the Sinners, but I managed to route myself away from him and grab the creep wave on our walker for free. And here, once again, I'm kind of just like farming boxes and trying to incrementally get a lead back because I'm still falling behind in souls quite a bit, and that could just be because I'm not as efficient with my camp taking. But then I see Viscous out of position. He manages to escape with a really strong goo punch and some air dashes and wall bounces. Wraith is able to escape too, even though she was deep. It's a shame, but luckily they're pretty pushed back, so it gives me a chance to take their camps relatively easily. So I grab their tier 3 creep and then make a mad dash away. And as you can see, Warden is just really fucking fast if you build around his willpower ability. Just upgrade it once, and maybe twice if you want to have it up more often. And then have Fleet Foot and Enduring Speed at the same time, and you're faster than everybody else in the lobby for the most part. Abrams here, in a very deep position, and the rest of them too, but they're able to get out safely. I look at this fight and I'm like, it's just not great. I say no, and then I run. Just continue to farm on their side, which is a little risky. I get punished for it. Doorman manages to ult me again. I thought that they were going to be able to hold it down on blue, but I was wrong. I ult and waste it because I got ulted by another person, so they had to spend 2 ults on 1 kill, which is bad for them. And then Kelvin dies, so they end up spending 2 ults on 2 kills, which is good for them. I go with Quicksilver Reload because I realized I didn't have that. It's just a good item to have as Warden. It's honestly better than Active Reload just because the flask throwing is instantaneous and you just get your weapons back. I'm daydreaming about buying Vampiric Burst, which is why I get Bullet Lifesteal. I've recently been building Vampiric Burst as Warden, and it's been working out really well. It's a very strong item. It just keeps you alive. It's unlike anything else. I see that we're still fighting on blue. We still have not given up on taking these people down, so I decide, fuck it, I'm gonna try to chase this Abrams, but he was 2 steps ahead of me and was basically already in his base by the time I saw him. So I decided to just take their boxes and grab their creep wave. Once again, kind of just farming and not really playing too aggressively because they're all pushed out and safe and our waves aren't like perfect right now, so I decided to just go for mid boxes. These like bullets are like flying in between that little corridor in the center of the mid box area. I don't know what that was, some kind of visual bug. And then I grabbed the creep wave. I want that gun buff, but at this point, yeah, there was no way I was getting it in time. Mirage just gets jumped on green.
My bad, I got chased by Abrams.
And he was deep, but he did kind of get jumped. I decide, alright, we can just keep taking camps, we don't need to play aggressive right now that we're down 1, but I do see 7 getting jumped, and I'm like, fuck it, man, I'm Sonic. I have my ults. Let's just go in. And then I get promptly ulted by Doorman, which is starting to get old at this point in the game. But Wraith does end up dying to Bebop, which is fantastic. So I decide, you know what, this isn't a bad time to push yellow. A lot of people are pushed up on green. 3 people, if I'm not mistaken. We just killed somebody. In fact, there was actually 4 people on green, so Doorman was completely by himself here, allowing us to take down this walker really easily. It was not an issue at all, especially with my bullet resist shred and cultist sacrifice. The walker was just taking a lot of damage. We weren't able to chase Doorman because he was smart enough to leave. I tried to maybe like knock him off the zipline or something, but that didn't work. So I decided to just keep taking boxes and stuff and continue to possibly maintain a little lead. And, you know, my farm is pretty good, but my teammates, Mina and Bebop specifically, somehow still managed to get more souls than me. It's not like they were killing people more. I think they might have just been taking more camps or something. I'm not entirely sure how they got ahead, but then I got the Murky Worky. At this point, I know that I'm doing ludicrous amounts of damage, so I really want to dive people and kill them. I see Abrams from a distance. My vision goes red, and I basically have a one-track mind at this point. The only thing I want to do is kill this guy. But he starts running away, so I pivot and go for an earn play, which was actually quite smart, because our green lane is really shoved up. Abrams is being harassed by Bebop. He then changes his mind. Wraith is on my tail. I'm warned about it, but I do manage to escape her. My movement here was just precise enough. I quickly make it to that air vent and just kind of ignore the fight going on and see if I can get this earn. Hayes misses her sleep dagger, which was absolutely hilarious. And then I kill her. Grab a huge bag for it. The urn is kind of just sitting there. No one's trying to pick it up. I have my ults. I managed to channel it before Gooball runs me over, and Goobus dies. He's not able to survive that one. The Spirit Urn still hasn't been picked up. I get Doorman ulted for the fucking time this game, but I'm not upset about it. I noticed that the Urn is unoccupied, and the enemy team is just being pushed up further and further. I had a great team this game that just loved keeping the pressure up and damaging them and attacking. Mirage died, but we got the Urn out of it, so it was 100% worth it. I deliver that shit, I go in. Wraith is about to die, and she does not survive, thanks to 7. Abrams is pushing blue, so it's basically like now is a better time than ever to push green. It's just Paige and Hayes, which is a deadly combo, but I have a lot of damage output. I realized that I have 6.4k souls, and I think back to my last video where I was sitting on a lot of souls and not going to the item shop, and I figured, like, you know what, it is a good time to get Vampiric Burst after all. So I go down to the item shop and buy that. And Headhunter while I'm at it. And now my healing is just absolutely nuts. Vampiric Burst proved to be the best possible thing I could have bought, because not only did it result in me surviving the Hazel, but I also managed to kill her with 7's help. But Doorman and Viscus died too, leaving 3 of them dead, so that was a free green walker. Paige is pushing yellow. Paige and Abrams were pushing yellow, but unfortunately Wraith was not able to escape. Mirage was able to finish her off from afar, which was pretty badass. I keep saying you're welcome after people die because I feel like I'm carrying the game right now, and even Mirage acknowledges it. Like, to be honest, our Warden is kind of hauling ass right now, like, yeah bro, good job. So he even concedes and hits me with a good job on the mic. So then we go in, shred the mid-boss in no time whatsoever. So that's a free rejuvenator. Once we have that going, was basically GG, but, you know, they still had a fighting chance, so we had to play a little careful. We just keep on going. At this point, I've managed to only die once, which I'm proud of myself for, but you guys will find that I die a few more times. I sell Battle Vest for escalating resilience. I lose out-of-combat regen, but I get more HP and ammo out of it, and the plus 15% damage increase that Battle Vest gives you lasts longer and doesn't require being at 65 HP. Viscus gets heavily punished. He tries to escape, and he does a good job of trying, but unfortunately Warden's a broken-ass character. And so now we're kind of just fighting in their base, which we're in the position to do since we have the Rejuvenator. I miss a lot of my shots against Hayes, but her ult isn't strong enough, so I decided to go for my ult, and 7's stun kind of just sealed the deal for her. Doorman tries to ult 7, but he was unfortunately too close to me, and I punished him hard for trying to ult our 7, and then he dies. And now it's just a base siege. It's a 6v3 with Abrams at 1 HP. There's really not that much of a chance for them at this point. But I didn't want to fight because I was low, and then the heal troop gave me some more sustain, so I was like, fuck it, let's just go back in. And then I turn around again because I realized it's actually scary. Wraith comes super close to dying, I just don't have what it takes to finish it off, and then I get lucky and jump over Abrams' shoulder charge, which I was not anticipating. Viscus goes in to kill me, doesn't kill me. I do think he manages to get out, though. Wraith tries to kill me, and so I start shooting her down, scaring her off. And then we're left to take shrines with no contest whatsoever, and then the patron goes down soon after. So then they start chasing me down. I get CC'd by like 13 different things. I think I got goo punched, vortex webbed, and Paige captivating readed, so I was not able to escape that time, but it's okay because we knocked their patron, and somehow my teammates still managed to clutch up and kill them. Also, my spectator thing here was a little bit bugged. Like, you can like hear Mina's perspective really well here, but I can't spectate her. But I was like clicking my mouse buttons, and you can see that I'm cycling through my teammates, but for some reason I couldn't spectate them. I don't know why that happened, so we're just gonna skip ahead just a little bit here to when I respawn. And now we're kind of like, our lanes are all shoved up, we're at a position where it would be okay to chill and farm, but as soon as we have an opportunity to get a pick, we should, since we do have a massive soul lead, 20k. And also I'm 38k, which puts me ahead of all of them except for Abrams. And I'm not afraid of Abrams, so I decide I'm just going to keep on farming, make sure that my lead is as ahead as possible. Take out these tier 3 creeps, as if they're tier 1 creeps. Loki a badass for that. Grab some statue buffs, and then I notice a bridge buff, which I really want to get because someone's been stealing it from me all game, and then I got it stolen from me again. So I say, "Fuck you, Viscous. I'm gonna try to get you." But I didn't want to make the mistake I made last game of chasing the Shiv and then dying and then losing the entire game. So I let the Viscous go, which was a good move on my end because I definitely would have died if I chased him. So I continue to just keep the lanes pushed, cover in green, and I notice that Kelvin and Mirage are deep on yellow. I really want to get point blank, but I wanted to buy Juggernaut first because I think Juggernaut's a great item, especially this game where there's a lot of gun damage and high fire rate like with Haze and Wraith. And even Viscous. So here I am just kind of walking around and picking up boxes so that I can get just enough souls to buy point blank, which is 2400, although I thought it was 2200 because I always get the math wrong on that. And now, yeah, so Mirage kind of calls me out on not really fucking doing anything, so I needed to cover green, but then I saw that there was a fight going on, so I was like, nah, I'm not going to cover green, I'm just going to join the fight. But it was a bad fight. Our lanes were getting pushed off. We weren't really in the position to go in, but I fucking go in anyway. Luckily, I don't die for it. I just end up really low, and I waste my ult, but I end up not really losing too much HP, and so I just go back to farming boxes. I check that camp. I should have just looked at the map, because obviously it was taken already. Grab a few boxes, see that there's no Sinner's Sacrifice and the double Sinners. So yeah, I'm honestly kind of wasting a lot of time here, and then I make the biggest blunder, which is going back up here to grab some more boxes while all of my teammates are fixing waves, and then I get caught out of position. So I get knocked down by Paige, Haze sleeps me, I try to run away and get Vampiric Burst to keep me alive while I'm running, but I do end up dying for it. Luckily though, they were baited to going into our side of the map, so my team is able to retaliate and try to fix my mistakes. Unfortunately, Mina dies, but both Paige and Haze die. Abrams is in a dangerous position, but he's super fed. He does manage to finish off 7 with the help of Viscous. Abrams dodging the tornado because of Unstoppable. That was insane, but Mirage is doing fantastic this game as well, just like me, and he's able to scare him off. At first we were going to do mid-boss. I kind of thought that it'd be a good idea, because there was no Abrams, but Mirage was right about the fact that our lanes weren't pushed up, so yeah, it was a bit of a blunder for me to recommend mid-boss. It's a good thing we didn't actually end up doing it. Also, sorry if you guys can hear a fucking vacuum in the background. That's definitely not what I wanted in the video, but it's okay. So then I go back in, I decide, alright, I died again, which isn't great, but I'm still pretty much ahead of everybody on their team, so next time I have a chance to kill them, I'm going to. Mirage is stressing that we shouldn't fight because we're not together, and he's absolutely right, but Kelvin has just got a lust for blood, which I can really relate to sometimes, so as you can see, he just goes in on that Haze. And I'm confused, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not just gonna let him get away with this and leave me out in all the fun, so I decide to go in, I waste my ult, I get ulted by Paige. But then for some reason, Haze puts herself out of position, my Binding Word finishes her off, which is just so badass, and at that point, it's a perfect opportunity for us to go mid-boss. But we keep fighting in the mid lane. I'm going for mid-boss, and then I see that we're still fighting, so I go back in the fight. I look at Viscous, trying to walk back to base, not gonna work. I kill him promptly, and he's dead. And now that there's 2 down, Mirage is right, we can just end the game, which is what we end up doing. So I go down, start shooting the Patron, which I do a shit ton of damage to. Wraith and Paige try to punish me for it, so I kind of just hop out, wait for my debuffs to wear off, go back in and finish the Patron off, and without any more demonstration, now you can see what carrying a game as Warden looks like. I didn't, like, frag or anything, but needless to say, we wouldn't have won that game without me. 12 kills is no small feat, and 33,000 player damage, while I'm not fully proud of it, it's at least I got more than Bebop, and I got more than Mina, who's a broken-ass character. So, anyways, thanks for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back with another one tomorrow.